protect Nigerian economy from future shocks, marching order from President Muhammadu Buhari to the central bank governor. Nigeria and Japan in renewed bid to boost trade ties. Experts strategize on the process of integrating comprehensive HIV/AIDS services into health insurance. Also tonight, Senate speaks on navigational safety as House of Representatives takes steps to restore the dignity of the Nigerian flag. Thanks for joining us on the NTA Network News for tonight. I am Fumi Wakama. President Muhammadu Buhari has tasked the Central Bank of Nigeria to sustain efforts at not only stabilizing the foreign exchange market and the economy, but insulating them from future external and domestic shocks. This was when he granted audience to the governor of the nation's apex bank, Godwin Emefiele. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
The Buhari administration inherited a bad economic situation. Oil prices had fallen dramatically and very little had been saved on account of waste, mismanagement and corruption that preceded its coming to power.
Everybody in the world believes Nigeria is a lucky country in the sense of its material and human resources. Our problem has always been how can we organize ourselves, get the correct leadership to come together and pull the country out of the problem we find ourselves.
Various policy measures were therefore introduced by government towards blocking financial leakages in the system and reviving the economy. How far so far? This informed the meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele.
Given what we have right now, the fact that revenues are looking good, the state of the economy is good. We've seen production of crude has increased, so to that extent, the fact that we've seen also crude prices oscillating between 50 to 55 to 56, it has helped our revenue position and has also provided some ammunition for central bank to defend the currency.
The CBN governor also briefed the president on efforts being made by the nation's apex bank to stabilize the foreign exchange market.
He was very delighted to hear that the market is stabilizing at the level that it is right now, between 380 and 385. And he is encouraging us to continue to do the good job.
Mr. Godwin Emefiele met President Muhammadu Buhari behind closed doors for about 1 hour. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Buhari Media Support Group has dismissed complaints about the ill health of President Muhammadu Buhari by some interest groups and individuals as an excuse not to acknowledge the monumental achievements of his administration. The group, in a statement by its proton coordinator, Austin Rima, and secretary, Chief Kasidi Madueke, described the uproar about the president's health as mischievous, diversionary, and purely laced with political motives. The statement further says Nigerians feel and are still feeling the presence of the federal government through programs and projects being implemented all over the country, as well as people-oriented policies being churned out. It observed that the war against Boko Haram terrorist militancy and the sabotage of the economy in the Niger Delta have recorded huge successes. BSMG says contrary to the expectation of detractors, the Buhari administration has continued to record significant progress in 3 cardinal areas of the economy, security, and fight against corruption, adding that no amount of campaign of calumny will deter the administration from serving Nigerians selflessly. The statement confirms that the true condition of the president, as disclosed by officials of the presidency, is that he is in a recovery mode and gaining energy from treatment he received in the United Kingdom, and that the president continues in his role as president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The BSMG maintained that The complaints are politically motivated and advise Nigerians not to be deceived by the diversionary tactics of those who looted the nation's treasury and impoverished Nigerians. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has reaffirmed government's commitment to encourage the growth of micro, small and medium enterprises by easing the process of registration of business. The Vice President said this at the opening of the 2017 Business Enterprises Clinic in Jos, Plateau State. Paul Dama reports.
President Yemi Osinbajo said the numerous challenges encountered by small and medium business owners prompted the new government policy of online registration aimed at reducing the cumbersome process of registration of businesses. Other measures taken by government, Professor Osinbajo said, include the introduction of a new visa policy which allows potential businessmen to be given visa upon entry, access to facilities, and approval of the Nigerian Customs Service as the sole inspector of imported goods.
What we've done in what we call PEBEC for short is that we've tried to look at the various areas that make it particularly difficult to do business in Nigeria. We'll come to the last, which is MSMEs. In some cases, for those who want to register companies, it's very difficult to register a company. It might take a long time. But now we have improved that considerably.
Governor Simon Lalong says his administration recognizes the importance of micro, small and medium enterprises to the economy and is therefore at the point of signing a memorandum of understanding with the Bank of Industry to provide funds of about 2 billion naira to enable the over 3,000 women and youth already trained by the state government to access funds at low interest rates to establish their businesses.
Beyond poverty alleviation is livelihood sustainability. Hence, the various programs that the government has initiated in the agricultural sector and through the micro, small and medium enterprises development agency to enhance the economic well-being of Nigerians.
Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Aisha Abubakar, and the Director General, Industrial Training Fund, Mr. Joseph Ari, said the MSME clinic affords government the opportunity to identify challenges and determine areas of intervention as they have the potential to make the country great. The Vice President took time to inspect some locally manufactured products, which include agricultural produce, footwears, cosmetics, metalworks, fabrics, and other fashion accessories. In Jos, Paul Dama, NTA News.
More in investments, as the federal government has assured the people of Japan that it is open to doing business as both nations seek to boost trade ties and improve relationship. Leah Katung Babatunde reports that the mission seeks to solidify a $30 billion investment discussed at the 6th Tokyo International Conference on Africa's Development, which held in Kenya recently.
That featured on a favorable spot in the World Bank's ease of doing business in recent time. It currently holds the 170th spot out of 189 countries ranked. Security challenges, infrastructure deficit and access to credit are the top concerns presented by the Japanese public and private joint mission for promoting trade and investment. They have come in their numbers with a view to tap into the vast opportunities available in the country as Nigeria seeks to reinvigorate other sources of revenue outside oil.
So as represented by the diversity of the members of the mission, we have a diverse interest.
The Economic Recovery and Growth Plan sits well with them, and the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Analema, highlighted available opportunities as Nigeria aims to climb 20 places on the Ease of Doing Business ranking through the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council put in place by President Muhammadu Buhari.
What you have to do is to make it easier for people to do business, register businesses, pay their taxes, get construction permits, get access to property, and the like.
At the Ministry of Finance, Minister Kemi Adeosun was optimistic the insurance, banking and manufacturing delegates would add some weight to the macroeconomic environment.
We are focused on increasing our food security by investing in agriculture, improving energy sufficiency by investing in power and petroleum, improving transportation and other infrastructure.
The 32-man delegation were encouraged to get into joint venture partnership with other Nigerian investors. In Abuja, Leah Katung Babatunde, NTA News.
Turning to the health sector, the process of integrating comprehensive HIV/AIDS services into health insurance in the country kick-started with a meeting between the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, and the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah has details.
With over 4 million people infected, Nigeria is considered the country with the second highest number of people living with HIV and AIDS in the world. Apart from the fact that 70% of the HIV national response comes from external donors, more worrisome is the barrier to access treatment.
So currently, they are being charged 12,000 naira for chemistry and hematology tests, 5,000 naira for their viral load test. They all come at about 16,000 per visit to the facility, which they actually don't have. So you don't get to see them coming back again.
The situation led to donor partners giving the country the ultimatum of removing such user fees before the end of this year or be penalized. Key players at the meeting, which include state commissioners for health, met to fashion out an innovative and sustainable financing mechanism for HIV and AIDS care.
What I really would want is in the long term, in the next 1 year, 2 years, we have a sustainable mechanism for funding HIV that is not dependent on budget cycles, that is not dependent on government having to put in money, because that money is there.
This 15,000 is just the one, and if you have this VC ship, it covers you for the whole year for a lot more things. So we're having continuing discussion.
The Ogun State example of how proactive states should be in terms of HIV and AIDS and health insurance was showcased at the meeting, which also recommended that states should not only develop sustainability roadmaps for HIV treatment, but include state health insurance scheme for comprehensive HIV services rather than HIV testing services alone. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
And universal health coverage will be achieved if the legislature appropriates adequate funds to the health sector. This was the consensus at an interactive forum to explore ways of improving the health sector. Correspondent Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju has more.
Over the years, the gap between funds allotted to the health sector and actual requirements remains largely unresolved at the national, state and local government levels. In comparative terms, it has also been proven that Health Ministry has one of the lowest budgets, leading to inadequate healthcare delivery. It is in view of this that key actors are engaging relevant arms of government through sensitization on the need to adequately fund the sector and devise modalities for the promotion of transparency.
We believe that we should give the health sector much more if we appropriate lower than expected. With proper oversight, will ensure proper implementation. And not only implementation, the economy and the prudence, the efficiency and effectiveness with which the resources are deployed would only be enhanced when we continue to oversight on the executive side of government.
The Institute, on the prompting of the President of the Senate, has been studying how to improve the coverage of NHIS so that even those in the rural areas would have access.
The purpose of a workshop like this is just to go back home and make sure we start from educating them more, the executive.
The interactive session is part of continuous advocacy by the National Institute for Legislative Studies and the Partnership in Advocacy for Child and Family Health towards better funding of the sector for the overall well-being of the citizenry. Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the senators called on the Ministry of Transportation to conduct a survey into the stretch of River Niger with a view to putting safety navigation aid in place. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayano reports that the resolution is contained in a motion moved by Senator Bala Ibn Naala, Kebbi South.
In a motion on incessant boat mishap and loss of lives in the Yauri end of the River Niger, Senator Bala Ibn Naala stressed urgent need for the federal government to assist affected communities with modern boats to prevent further occurrence.
As of today,
Despite these years and the sacrifice that this community has done, it is without good drinking water and without electricity.
The Maritime University of Nigeria Okerenkoko Bill 2017 was passed for the third reading. Chairman Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund, Barrow Jibrin, presented the bill on the Maritime University for consideration.
It's in line with other acts, university acts that were passed in this August Senate, and I therefore request that it should be given an expedited passage.
The Maritime University is one that will train high-level manpower for that very important subsector in the economy of this country.
Raising a point of order, Senator Hope Uzodimma drew the attention of the Senate to the colossal loss of foreign exchange through revenue leakages at Nigeria's seaports.
We have identified between 2006 to 2017 over 30 trillion naira worth of foreign exchange in form of approved Form M meant for import, for which there is no evidence that the goods came into the country.
Outside plenary, a 7-man committee has been inaugurated to investigate alleged assassination attempt on Senator Dino Melaye and the police raid on Senator Danjuma Goje's house in Abuja. Senate leader Ahmad Lawal said while inaugurating the committee that issues at stake should be thoroughly investigated so that no lawmaker will be put in a position to feel insecure while carrying out legitimate duties. From the National Assembly, Wazir Zayan, NTA News.
Towards preserving Nigeria's identity and national heritage, the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill for an act to amend the National Flag and Coat of Arms Act 2004 with a view to regulating its use and display. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports on these and other developments in the House.
Leading the debate, Representative Samuel Onuigbo of Abia State emphasized on the growing impunity in the deconstruction of the national flag and the potential dangers that accompany such acts, including ignorance and confusion meted on future generations about their national identity.
Any person who uses the national coat of arms and inserts them into national flag, thereby creating an illegal form of our national flag, shall be guilty of an offense against this act.
A little bit worrisome when you see that even our children no longer know the shade of the color of green that is the Nigerian flag.
Some people may say the national flag implies green, white, green. Some will say it's green, white, green with coat of arms imposed on it, superimposed on it.
The bill was referred to the House Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values for further legislative action. A bill to repeal the Miscellaneous Offences Act of 2004 moved by Representative Ahmed Idris of Plateau State also passed second reading.
The core of the matter is that almost all the issues that are there have now been captured under the criminal code. It is very important that as lawmakers, we must bring our laws into conformity with present-day realities.
Some members, however, noted that they had not had sufficient time to consider salient issues in the bill, to which Speaker Yakubu Dogara responded as follows.
The point is that all bills are first gazetted. They're first gazetted. That means everyone here is fixed with notice once that gazette is published. And it was published before it was read on the 8th of June 2016, almost a year ago.
The bill was referred to the Committee on Justice. Representative Ayodeji Adebayo Joseph of Lagos State moved a motion on the need to address the scarcity of Nigerian passport booklets. The House also considered the reports of the Committees on Insurance and Actuarial Matters, Finance and Labour, Employment and Productivity on the need to avert the impending strike action at the National Insurance Commission. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Challenging unemployment in Nigeria requires entrepreneurial skills and innovation. The Vice President, Yemi Oshibajo, in a message to the maiden convocation of Elizade University, Ilara Moki, Ondo State, urged youth to explore creative ways of contributing to the economy. Olubukola Aduo has that report.
Vice
President Osibajo, represented by the Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, emphasized that the time to include entrepreneurial studies in schools' curriculum is now, as the era of white-collar jobs is over. He said that 21st century universities must invest in research, technology, and entrepreneurship development.
Today, Elizabeth University has joined the league of private universities with distinction to produce manpower for the development of this great nation.
The founder and visitor to the university, Chief Michael Adeojo, tasked the graduates to uphold the tenets of diligence, dedication, determination, and discipline as they go to the larger society.
If you can fly, fly. If you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. And if you cannot walk, crawl. But don't stay at a point.
5 out of the 35 graduates bagged first-class degrees in their various disciplines.
We had worked diligently and now have a good understanding of where we are, where we want to be, and how to get there.
Elizabeth University, Ilara Moki, began operations in January 2013 with 64 pioneer students, and so far the institution runs 17 programs accredited by the National Universities Commission. In Akure, Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
3 female teenage suicide bombers attempted to attack a military outpost popularly known as Guantanamo along Murna Garage, C Company 195 Battalion. They were sighted trying to gain access to the premises and were shot by security personnel, leading to the detonation of their concealed explosives, which killed all 3 and injured one of the security personnel. Their corpses have been evacuated to Borno State Specialist Hospital by NEMA and Bosom Emergency Response Teams. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Ahead on the news tonight, Africa's largest network, NTA, says it will not relent in propagating the ideals of safety. These and more when we come back.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
His Royal Highness the Emir of Duse Alhaji Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sunusi CON invites the general public to the Tabanin of Alhaji Nasir Haladi Dano as Dang Amanar Duse on Friday 5th May 2017 by 10 a.m. at Emir's Palace Duse, Jigawa State. A special dava will come on Thursday 4th May 2017 by 4 p.m. at Duse Eid Ground. Special guest of honor, His Majesty Professor Theophilus Prince will CFR Amanyanabo of Kalabari, Royal Father of the Day, Over Adeye Enitan Ogusi Ojaja II, Oni of Ife. Chief host, Alhaji Muhammad Badara Abubakar, MON, MNI, Governor, Jigawa State. Governors, members of national and state assemblies, ministers, and other important personalities are expected to grace the occasion. Announcer, organizing committee.
It is with joy that I've received Our Excellency's gifts.
I want to say that may God continue to bless and reward her. And so, on behalf of Garki Hospital, we are grateful.
The Vice-Chancellor, Nasarawa State University, Kefi, on behalf of Senate and Council, cordially invites the general public to the 5th Combined Convocation Ceremonies of the University, scheduled to take place as follows. Day 1, Friday, 5th May 2017, Investiture of the Chancellor, Convocation Lecture on the topic Education and National Security. Speaker, Lieutenant General Abdulrahman B. Dambazao, retired. Honorable Minister of Interior. Time, 3:30 p.m. Venue, Assembly Hall, Main Campus. Day 2, Saturday, 6th May 2017. Award of bachelor's degrees, diplomas, masters, Doctor of Philosophy degrees, and conferment of honorary doctorate degrees. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, Convocation Arena, Main Campus. Bala I. Ahmed II, Registrar, Announcer.
That scenario will not happen.
The insurgency has been contained and agricultural production is bouncing back. Nigeria is working towards food sufficiency.
So FAO, thank you for coming. We discussed we're going to need your help in expanding agriculture, in introducing new crops for local consumption and export. We need to make the rural people richer and happier than they are now.
We must become a nation where we grow what we eat and consume what we produce.
You're still watching the NTA Network News, and we begin this segment at the judiciary. The Supreme Court has adjourned hearing in the PDP leadership crisis case to the 25th of May, when it will hear arguments on 4 motions before it. This is the outcome of Thursday's hearing, where counsel to Ali Modu Sheriff sought to shoot down the appeal before the court. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeowo reports.
It was a continuation of the fireworks that greeted the first day of the Supreme Court's hearing about a month ago. But this time, it was frontally confronted by Lateef Fagbemi, counsel to Ali Modu Sheriff, who told the panel of 5 justices of the Supreme Court that the PDP was not interested in any appeal. His position was that if anyone wished to appeal the decision of the Court of Appeal, he had no authority to come in the name of the PDP, which, he said, only Ali Modu Sheriff could authorize.
The McAfee faction is an unknown body for purposes of the appeal that was filed in this case. If the McAfee faction feels strongly about appealing, they can take out appeal in their name.
Once you have a decision by the court, it takes effect immediately. I mean, it's like somebody uses your name to file a suit in court, and you get to know, do you keep quiet and say, oh, let him continue?
Counsel to the appellant, the McAfee arm, Wale Olanipekun, were in no mood for such arguments now. As far as they are concerned, they had an inalienable and constitutional right to contest the Court of Appeal's decision, and so they brought before the court 2 motions, one particularly seeking a restraining order.
Because the motion was already overtaken by events,
the respondents had filed their own brief. So there was no need for us to be asking for the appeal to be heard on our own brief.
The panel, led by Justice Musa Detijo Mohammed, eventually allowed the listing of 4 motions, 2 from Waliola Nipekun, 1 from Lateef Fagbemi, and another from Akin Olujimi for the next hearing. Now the issues are narrowing down gradually, even as they become more intense. And so on the 25th of May, when the Supreme Court will take those 4 motions before it, this case will have picked up a direction. From the Supreme Court, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki informed the Code of Conduct Tribunal of his intention to file a case of no submission in his trial over alleged false declaration of assets, which has been on since 2015. Correspondent Aliu Tukur reports that the decision of the Senate President came as the Prosecution Counsel formally concluded his case after calling the 4th witness.
Resumed trial, the prosecution witness, Mr. Bayo Dauda, Saraki's account officer, who works with Guarantee Trust Bank, informed the tribunal that the documents allegedly used for foreign transactions by the Senate President is not in possession of the bank. The witness further said that he has no knowledge of any property bought in London by Saraki with the alleged foreign remittances. He, however, admitted that the Senate President had taken loans 3 times and has since repaid the loans in line with terms of agreement. Saraki, through his counsel, Paul Erokoro, informed the tribunal that he will need the records of the proceedings since 2015, when the trial commenced, to enable him make his no-case submission. Prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacobs did not object to the decision. He, however, pleaded with the tribunal to consider time already spent on the case.
Isn't it peculiar that there was a fire in the foreign department of GTB which burnt the documents that the defendant is relying on, and then the backup copies in the Loring branch cannot be found, and it is only the defendant's documents that cannot be found. The documents relating to all other customers who also engage in foreign transactions are all intact.
The defendants they will always want to know the mind of the courts and what the prosecution has in mind, so that they can prepare their defense and have those issues that were raised in this no-case submission as the basis to call their witnesses.
Chairman of the tribunal, Danladi Umar, adjourned the case to the 8th of June to adopt the written addresses expected to be filed and exchanged by the parties involved.
Aliu Tukur's report there presented. The war against corruption is succeeding in Nigeria as a result of the political will of President Muhammadu Buhari. This view was expressed by guests on NTA's current affairs program, Moment for Thought.
The institutions are allowed to grow. Yes. Then all our apprehensions may be put to rest. Yes. And all these premature judgments that we pass as individuals or people with group interest or other goals, I think they're often jaundiced.
Yes. The strategy against corruption has the advantage that it has a leadership that is committed, but it is constrained by the legalistic approach.
Moment for Thought comes up tonight at 10:30 on the network service of the NTA. The Nigerian Television Authority says it will not relent in ensuring adequate publicity of military activities in and around the country. The Director General, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, said this when he received the new spokesperson of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Olatokunbo Adesoya. Serafina Okon reports.
Years, Africa's largest network, the Nigerian Television Authority, has fulfilled the mandate of publicizing the activities of various agencies. The coverage of the giant strides by security agencies in protecting lives and property, given the challenges of insurgency, stands out. The visit by the spokesperson of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Olatukumbo Adesoya, to the Director General of NTA provided the platform for exchange of ideas on the strategic importance of security and information dissemination.
Patriotism remains key in the whole of the practice. We believe that when we work together, share information together, at the end of the day, Nigeria will be the better for it.
NTA's Director General Yakubu Ibu Muhammad said the organization will continue to disseminating accurate and timely information for the general well-being of the people.
NTA will go all the way, as far as our limited resources can carry us, to assist the Nigerian Air Force in not only repositioning itself, but in making sure that the war against insurgency, is finally contained.
He also commended the men of the Nigerian Air Force for its role in fighting insurgency. Serafina Okon, NTA News.
And our Lagos Network Center has our next set of reports, and Vera is our guide. Good evening, Vera.
Thank you, Fumi. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. As part of efforts to strengthen healthcare in the country, a workshop to build capacity of health practitioners on how to manage malaria in expectant mothers and newborns has been organized in Lagos. Jennifer Igwe reports that the theme for the program is maternal health and malaria priority, access to women.
Experts at the workshop say pregnant women infected by malaria usually have severe symptoms and associated complications. Against this backdrop, the seminar is to build and improve capacity of health practitioners to manage malaria infection during pregnancy and in newborns.
It's all the story of mosquito nets, treatment, and all of that. But we think that it is time that we build capacity in the human resource sector.
Most of the deaths due to malaria occur in children and in women. Pregnant women in particular, because of the reduction in their immunity due to the physiological changes of pregnancy. So it's very important and apt that we are paying attention to malaria in pregnant women and in children.
Threats to the gains made in the fight against malaria was also examined.
There are a few threats which needs us to attend to clearly, particularly in the area of insecticide resistance, vector resistance.
Malaria infection during pregnancy, according to the World Health Organization, WHO, is a significant public health challenge with great risk for expectant mothers, their fetus, and newborns. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
The Nigerian Breweries PLC has presented the audited financial statement and report of the company for the year ended 31st December 2016 to shareholders in Lagos. Chairman of the company, Kolawole Jamodu, told stakeholders that the company recorded significant success in the year under review. Ken Igbeliwe reports that stakeholders also adopted all the recommendations made by the board of directors.
The chairman and board of directors told shareholders that the company was able to increase its turnover by 7% from 294 billion naira in 2015 to 340 billion naira in 2016.
When viewed in the light of the challenges, in the light of today's problems which included a devaluation, double-digit interest rates, difficulty in accessing foreign exchange, I think that result can be considered extremely satisfactory.
With our brands, with our brewery infrastructure, and all these great professionals working for Nigerian breweries, we're set and ready to cope with the challenges for 2017.
The company declared a total dividend of 28,386,181,179 naira only. This amount to 3 naira 58 kobo per share and 100% earnings payout. The proposal for shareholders' conversion of dividend to ordinary shares was also approved by shareholders.
That has been very, very smooth for the fact that the company is performing well. There's no doubt about that.
and they are making a move so that they can increase and get better.
Nigerian Breweries PLC says it remains committed to delivering good return on investment to its shareholders. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
The Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, will leave no stone unturned in ensuring safety and effective management of harbor points. This is with a view to improving vessel turnaround time at the nation's seaports. Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Bala Usman, said that this the ceremonial launch of 4 tugboats acquired by the authority in Lagos. Lynn Leneke has details.
According to the Managing Director, NPA, Hadiza Bala Usman, the acquisition of the 4 tugboats portends positive developments for the maritime sector. The tugboats commissioned include MT Daura, Obima, Uromi, and Majia. Each of the tugboats has the capacity to handle vessels 200 meters long with more than 60 tonnage in size. Officials of the NPA say apart from the primary responsibility of helping ships maintain balance before berthing, the tugboats can also intervene effectively in firefighting operations in the maritime domain.
They are also a wonderful revenue earning machine.
That has to do with NPA in trying to have a smooth running of its administration. At the end of it is trying to bring in more fundings into the coffer of government.
The Managing Director, NPA, emphasized that the tugboats will not only address the challenges of tug shortages in the sector, they will also help cargo throughput and ensure effective reduction in turnaround time of ships.
A lot of our operators had been concerned about the towage services that we're providing. With this new entry and addition to our fleet, we're going to be more efficient in delivering towage services in the piloted districts.
With the acquisition of the 4 tugboats, officials of NPA say the authority is now better positioned to boost revenue generation in the maritime sector and enhance effective port services. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We take a break now for some messages. The news continues with Fumi in Abuja after this time out. Stay with us.
That was close.
Yes, luckily I have happy cover.
Oh, I have happy cover too. Sorry about your house.
Actually, I have happy cover also, so.
Get happy. SMS happy to 22865 and we'll call you back.
Maybe he needs happy.
SMS now. Live happy with Leadway Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
Floret's chewing gum neutralizes bad odor. It doesn't just disguise them, it gives you real minty breath.
Cadbury Bournvita now comes in an attractive new 500-gram refill pack. Simply open and reseal after use to retain the chocolatey and creamy taste. Cadbury Bournvita. Prepare to win.
Coca-Cola?
Oh, it's happy hour. So, you want a free Coca-Cola, but you have to drink it here.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria announces its 5-day national workshop on International Public Sector Accounting Standards, IPSAS. A date Monday 12th to Friday 16th May 2017. Venue, the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, Topo Badagry. Expected participants of the national workshop are accountants, auditors, budget officers, finance officers, and other officers saddled with the responsibility of preparation of financial statements and financial control in the federal and state MDAS. Fee 100,000 naira per participant, excluding lodging and feeding. Note, arrival and registration Sunday 11th June 2017. Account name ASCON E-Collection Account. Account number 023 0055861019. For information, please contact Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
Glad to know you're still there. We'll begin this segment with business news. Key players welcome establishment of Development Bank of Nigeria. Call for more investment in financial literacy. These and more with Chiezalam Ikie on Business News.
It's glad to have you join me on Business News. It's been over 1 month since the Nigerian government unveiled the management of the new Development Bank of Nigeria. The DBN has the mandate of providing loans to all sectors of the economy and filling the gap in the provision of finance to micro, small and medium enterprises. But access to finance has been a challenge to MSMEs, who contribute about 48.47% to the country's GDP, but only have access to about 5% of lending from deposit money banks. What accounts for this?
The liquidity perspective is a lot easier because, there has been several schemes. BOI is giving money at the bottom of the pyramid scheme. The central bank has launched the MSME DF. So it's easier for us now. Even if you don't have the liquidity as a microfinance bank, you can tap into some of these schemes and be able to give money, to your people.
Meanwhile, 36 ships laden with petroleum products, food items and other goods are expected to arrive at Papa and Tinkan Island ports from May 4th to 29th. The Nigerian Ports Authority says the ships are bringing into the country bulk wheat, bulk salt, general cargo, frozen fish, base oil, petrol and bulk corn. And South Africa Chamber of Commerce and Industry's monthly Business Confidence Index shows that business confidence in South Africa rose in the month of April. The survey indicates that the Business Confidence Index rose to 94.9% in April from 93.8% in March, whereas consumer inflation slowed to 6.1% year-on-year in March from 6.3% in February. Just before we go, a quick check on how the equities market fared this Thursday. And that's Business Package. I'm Chiazala Mekie. The news continues. Don't go away.
And all public servants will be given equal opportunity to access mortgage at the Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board. Chairman, Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program, Yemi Adelakun, said this after a consultative meeting with the board in Abuja. Adebola Brooksland Sunday has details.
Members of the board are meeting for the first time after the signing of a 13 billion naira memorandum of understanding approved by President Muhammadu Buhari. They deliberated for several hours, after which newsmen were briefed.
Quite a number of civil servants, public servants have benefited, and more of them are benefiting. In fact, I think about 589 was ratified by the board, and we're also giving an approval for additional processing that will come on board.
We are happy this government is interested in housing most of its citizens. And public servants, workers are central.
Both the military and the police representatives expressed delight with the present administration.
We really commend the efforts of Mr. President and the government in general in ensuring that housing becomes affordable to all civil servants, including the military.
Police officers that really benefited from the scheme, change has really come to the Nigerian police force. And with the number of people that are on queue, prospecting to benefit from the system, we really appreciate it.
The meeting is to, among other issues, ensure affordable housing for all Nigerians. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
The adoption of scientific and technological innovation to boost agriculture has been described as strategic in the drive to diversify the economy. The governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosun, made the remark when he hosted participants of Course 39 of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, School JOS, on a tour of the state. Lekon Agbode has details.
The study group of Senior Executive Course 39 has participants drawn from the military, private and the public sectors and has mandate to embark on research to suggest policy framework that will assist the government to improve the economy.
We must move away from the monolithic economic status that we currently have in the nation. Indeed, I think that our problem truly can be traced directly to our, what I call abandonment of maybe what our forebears started the development of Nigeria on.
The focus of the federal government of today is on diversification of the economy, and agriculture is key to it. So the course has embarked as part of the process on what is called the study tour.
The delegation, led by Dr. Nasiruddin Usman, is in Ogun State on the mandate of the president to conduct veritable research on how to improve the agro-allied sector using the science, technology and innovations in line with the diversification agenda of the federal government. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbode, NTA News.
And a bit on happenings around the world and sports. When we come back, do stay tuned.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to the country.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
With gratitude and total submission to the will of God, the family of Dr. Patrick Itiohe announces the glorious exit of a legend, veteran broadcaster, and former Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Dr. Patrick Itiohe, OFR, whose sad event occurred on Wednesday, 5th April 2017 after a brief illness. Burial arrangements are as follows. Wednesday, 3rd May 2017, there will be a requiem mass at St. Thomas Aquinas Major Seminary, New Chapel, Makudi at 5 p.m. Thereafter, a service of songs will follow at 7 p.m. till dawn in his residence, number 16, Patrick Itiohe Boulevard, High Level, Makudi. Thursday, 4th May 2017, his body will be conveyed from Benue State University Teaching Hospital at 3 p.m. to his country home in Awaji, Shangevtiev, Konshisha local government area, and lies in state till dawn for all-night service of songs. Friday, 5th May 2017, at 8:30 a.m., there will be funeral orations from dignitaries and sympathizers, while final interment will be at 12 noon prompt. Announcer Oliver Teolumun Itiohe for the family.
And next is Global Tidbits with Talatu Ezurike.